Hello and welcome to Dragon Puppet. My name is Thomas and today we are talking about the brand new comic coming for Dungeons and Dragons on Webtoons. We talk a lot about the history of Dungeons and Dragons on this channel, including different mediums that it's appeared in, like video games, novels, and even films. But there's one medium that D&D has never explored until now, and that is the medium of vertical scrolling webcomics. These are exactly what they sound like. They are comics that are meant to be read on a phone screen in portrait, scrolling up as you go, rather than left to right as a traditional comic book would be read. Wizards of the Coast have teamed up with Webtoons, one of the most famous vertical scrolling comic platforms out there, to create a brand new D&D comic. The comic features a teenager called Brie as the main character, and she is the daughter of famous adventurer Drizzt Do'Urden and Catti-brie. We don't know much about this comic right now, and it's still not come out. In fact, we still don't have a solid release date. We just know it's coming out sometime in 2024. And seeing as we're about halfway through the year now, and we've still not had it, I thought I want to make a quick video about it because I actually attended a panel about this comic back in July 2023. So I wanted to share what we learned at that panel and what my thoughts are and how excited I am about it. The panel featured writers and artists Ryan Mannerly and Purpa, as well as the publishing lead of Wizards of the Coast, Paul Morrissey, and Vice President of Webtoon Content, David Lee. During the panel, they shared some artwork of the new characters, as well as a few frames of the upcoming Webtoon comic. But they also talked about the legacy of Drizzt and how Brie is kind of taking on the torch and moving forward with his story. Now, the character of Brie is a great character in herself, but what makes her so interesting is that she is the daughter of the really famous adventurer Drizzt Do'Urden and Catti-brie. In case you don't know who Drizzt is, here's a quick summary. Drizzt Do'Urden is one of the most iconic characters in D&D and was originally conceived by R.A. Salvatore in the novel The Crystal Shard and has appeared in over 30 novels since then. Now, although this is the first vertical scrolling webcomic that has featured the D&D universe, this is not the first time Drizzt has appeared in a comic or graphic novel. In fact, most of Drizzt's novels were actually turned into graphic novels back in 2005. Drizzt is known to adventure alongside other iconic D&D characters in a group known as the Companions of the Hall, including Bruenor Battlehammer, Catti-brie, Wulfgar and Regis. And not forgetting Drizzt's loyal animal companion, Guinevere. At some point in the late 15th century DR, Catti-brie and Drizzt have a half-drow daughter, Brynel Zaharina, the heroine of this latest story. While she is relatively new to the D&D lore and has only featured in stories as a child so far, Brie is about to make a big impact on the Forgotten Realms. What we do know so far about the story is that Brie borrows her father's famous scimitar, Twinkle, and goes on an adventure hoping to follow in her father's footsteps. At the panel, the writers talked about how Brie has grown up in the shadow of her parents' fame and fortune, and she now wants to go out on her own and have an adventure to prove to everyone that she is an adventurer in her own right, regardless of who her parents are. As I said at the start, they showed us a bunch of concept art and several panels from the comic book, and some of these have been released since then. And in some of this art, we can see other main characters that are going to appear alongside Brie in this comic. These characters include Quillian Harpell, Merith Wickweir, and Gavric Belbarum, all of which have a striking character design that alludes to their personality and seem like great characters to play around an actual D&D table. Quillian in particular sparks my interest as there is already a famous wizarding Harpell family in the Forgotten Realms, with strong allegiances to Mithal Hall. Mithal Hall is a dwarven fortress that is actually where the first adventure took place with Drizzt and his adventuring party, and where they formed the Companions of the Hall. In fact, Brie's own adoptive grandfather, Bruenor Battlehammer, was actually once king of Mithal Hall. So there's already a lot of ways that the different characters are all connected together, and lots of interesting plot points and threads to pull on. So, as I said, we still actually don't know when this is going to be released. We were just told it was going to be released sometime in 2024 to coincide with D&D's 50th anniversary. While we eagerly await the release of this comic, why not check out some of the other Drizzt comics that are out there, or some of the novels, to catch up on the story so far. Be sure to subscribe for more news and updates videos like this. Once the comic is out, I'll be sure to do a quick review of it. And also stay tuned because we've got some other great projects coming up on the channel. London MCM is coming up very soon, and I'm working on a Team Fortress 2 cosplay, and there'll be a video about that coming very soon.